Okay, so we're doing another kind of bodysuit feature. We're going to start out with the pieces that this guy has already sent me. He sent me a couple of really cool things over the years. I think the first one was back in 2022, so this guy's he's an old school watcher of the show. We've been doing it for like 5 years now, believe it or not.
Oh, wow.
I think the first Remy Reacts was done in like mid 2020. So yeah, there's a whole lot of this shit if you like it.
Like many things, started in the pandemic.
Yeah.
So this one says, "Hey Remy, my name's Jesse, and I just received this epic chest eagle."
So this is the one that he sent us originally. So we
Okay.
don't need to bother with the description of it. But
Oh, okay.
yeah, we can just show the eagle.
Okay, and then so we'll move on to the next one. What's up, y'all? Sending more for you. Here's my leg, done over 11 months working on my trad suit.
Yeah, so I think we showed this one too.
Yeah, I remember this really cool back piece.
So first let's yeah, so this was the first thing he sent.
Yeah.
And
Gorgeous eagle.
it's pretty cool. There's some things that could have been better, right? But I told that story already.
Yeah.
This is probably the worst thing he sent.
Okay.
So we're starting in a good place.
And then there's this beauty.
Yeah, this one got a lot of love on the channel.
Well, I really liked
this.
this one a lot too. So
The nice banner or whatever the hell it is at the top there. And yeah, like great back piece, right? Great chest piece. So
yeah, nice color palette.
yeah, I haven't seen his arms yet. I don't think, like, not really.
And then this is the leg.
Yeah, so I don't know what it is, but it's fucking awesome though.
A bunch of like crazy textures on this side. This is like,
Yeah, it's like one of those like, that looks cool, but I don't know what it is.
yeah, it's just cool looking.
Yeah, I would be fucking thrilled to have that,
Yeah,
even though like I have no idea what it is.
It's like Trad's answer to Geo.
Sort of. What do we got of the? Yeah, some more cool stuff.
Oh yeah, I sent something similar to this to Alex and Ashlyn this week. It was all framed out like this, and then in the frames were like birds and stuff. It was a really cool.
See, this has very trad sensibilities.
Yep.
But it's like very clearly not trad. Like this is like a very new approach to trad. I would not say it's necessarily neo-trad though, which is funny because that literally means new trad.
But stylistically, all of the little pieces are done the way
Yeah.
you would do trad, but you'd never do trad on like the scale with all the framing and the backgrounding and
Well,
stuff. Like
the
it's
heavy
different.
black and everything too, right?
Yeah.
And like there's like no white used here. It's all negative, and like the color palette is very trad. But and all of the imagery is very trad. And yeah, just very heavy, like real trad, but it's all assembled in a very modern way. That really, it's doing a lot for me because like the problem with these, and they have the problem in the here, right? But they've answered it. The problem with these is that the tattoos that you get with trad are always small, and these ones are even like they're pushing that too. Like that portrait should have been bigger.
Yeah.
Right? That eye should have been bigger. That web should have been bigger. The Grim Reaper should have been bigger. There's a fucking tiny ass little skull framed at the bottom.
Yeah.
That should have been bigger. Like all of those things typically would irritate the fuck out of me. Right? They're doing everything that I don't like, and they're finding an answer to everything.
But it's framed into this really cool. Like I love it.
It looks like a big like fair ride or something. You know what I mean?
Like a carnival or like a sideshow advertisement or something.
Where like the actual feature pieces are just texture for whatever the fuck this thing is. And so like I feel like they were playing with that idea that these trad pieces are always too small, like as almost like a joke that they're in on.
Yeah, maybe.
Right? Well, no, that's honestly, it looks like that. Like it looks like they went, oh yeah, these things are so small, and then you have to do background, right? Like, and then they did that. And they're like, okay, but that's done by design this time.
Yeah, and again, beautiful color palette.
But like, you could never cobble this together. This is the thing. Like,
No,
if
this
you were
is planned.
Yeah, so like if you were to do that portrait, that eye, that web, and then that Grim Reaper without this in mind, you would end up with like more gap fillers and then stars and dots and the usual trad problems. This was very clearly a leg sleeve concept from inception, right? Like they laid it out this way on purpose. I would love to know how they did it though. Like, did they do the pieces first, or did they do like this section, this, you know what I mean? Did they do like chunks of it at a time?
They probably lined out all the framing and then did the what's inside the frames, like the lady face, the eye, the skull, the web. I think those were all last. Because that's the way that I saw, as I said, I sent one of these. Very similar thing I sent to both Ash and Alex this week. And they did all of that crazy background stuff, and then they did the stuff inside the frames last.
That would make more sense, really. And that's like such a strange thing to think that we did a trad leg and we did the foreground last.
Yeah.
Because usually it's like background isn't even a consideration in trad tattoos.
Right.
So the whole thing is flipped on its head. You know, it's like we did it completely backwards. And that's probably honestly the way to do it. Like if you want to have trad like as a concept but still have a sleeve, you probably should figure out the background first. Because if you don't, then you kind of never do.
Yeah.
Like Trevor has a fucking trad sleeve. It's like 25 years.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like some of it is good and some of it, like it's the original trad sleeve.
But he's got like stars and dots.
But there's
behind
all
it,
kinds
right?
of junk there, and there's parts of it that aren't finished and don't make sense, and there's a few things that aren't quite trad in there, and it's just like, this whole thing is never going to come together.
Right.
That's what happens when you do the patchwork thing. So like the idea of inverting that idea and doing it like background first is pretty cool. And then you have like the negative space, and I normally don't like negative space, but the negative space, particularly framing around the lady portrait and to the Grim Reaper, but there's just more stuff going on to highlight that negative behind the lady. That is fucking awesome looking.
Right?
It's very striking.
It is super striking.
Same thing for the spider web. Normally I would want that to be colored in, but because there's nothing else that isn't colored in,
It's so bold.
it's such a nice highlight.
Yeah.
Right? Like it just pops so much. If I had a critique of the whole thing, the balancing is just a little off in where there's negative, I think. I think they probably should have found a little more space for negative maybe in the portrait at the bottom, and maybe, and this is going to sound crazy to say, but maybe the Reaper ends up a little smaller and then there's more negative behind him. And then you have more of a negative, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have it more all throughout this thing. But man, that's cool. That's fucking awesome. And then we have the front of the same leg.
Super cool.
God damn, that clipper ship is striking.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite part.
Oh, I don't know. The dark to light red shading around the eyelashes, or like the sun waves around the eye there,
Yeah.
are sun rays, are fucking gorgeous.
These
too.
are just really nicely done.
Yeah, and especially because the background is so like dark, trad colored, to have that dark to light red, it just puts such a focus on that eye.
Right?
Like, god damn.
This is probably the coolest trad leg sleeve I've seen in a really long time.
Oh, I've never seen one cooler, I
Yeah.
think. Because like they're always like cool looking, but you can't tell what anything is.
Oh, yeah.
Like you're just like, oh yeah, it's a big dark trad leg. But like here, they figured it out. They have only a few real things featuring here, right? And you could see them. And the rest of it is intentional background. Right? Like, and it's pretty fucking dark.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I guess if I had to critique, some of the stuff at the bottom isn't as light as some of the stuff at the top. It's harder to distinguish, but like, it all goes together very
It's
well.
so nice.
And being darker, it does put a nice emphasis on the top here. Also, the frame at the top, I probably would have brought that higher up because it's going to be hard to do anything over top of that.
Yeah.
And stopping that low would probably drive me nuts, like personally. I would probably want to have that come up to the line of the crotch area, and then do the same frame, but just have everything up higher.
Yeah.
But that's just a nitpick. And then we have the inside of that same leg.
Crazy.
I would like to see the other leg too. I was hoping we'd get to see the Looks like he has Japanese traditional on the other leg.
Yeah, you should send it in.
Look at these fucking textures in here.
I know, it's so gorgeous.
Like, that is fucking great. To be
They
able to
remind
do
me
that,
of little roofs or little tent tops.
that is,
like,
I
for
think
the
that
little-
is negative space.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Like, that's
so nicely done.
fucking wild that they could get it to be that bright just through the use of black and gray shading in there.
Oh.
Like, that's fucking nuts. Just look at this.
Yep,
That
that
is
piece is just crazy.
Just fucking amazing.
Super soft done. Gorgeous.
I never thought I'd admire textures in a trad tattoo. That's not typically, that wasn't on my bingo card.
Oh, look at there's a little like
I love the little peekaboo like hog bat thing. Is it
Yeah.
a bat?
I don't know.
I think
It
it's a
looks like a
bat.
hog. I don't know. Whatever he is, this critter just in
He's
the
just
side
kind of
here.
peeking through.
Yeah.
He's just
That's
like, hey guys,
hilarious.
how's it going?
Little animal portrait.
Yeah, that's fucking awesome. That's like, it's like when Rick put that phoenix, like the evil face in that
Oh
phoenix.
yeah, I know. I
you
told him that's my favorite part.
Well, those things, they're almost like when you're vibing and you're really killing it and you're like, I'm going to do a little bat face, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, those are those moments of like flow state where it's like, they probably didn't, like, they may have not even originally intended to do it, but it's like, what are we going to do in this spot? Oh, why don't we do this? It's like, oh, okay. You know, just a little peekaboo.
Yeah.
Those things always make me smile because, like, it's the kind of thing that you won't even notice all the time, but when you're looking at it real close, it's just a little something extra in there.
Super cool.
Yeah, this is, I think, probably one of the best leg sleeves we've had here. And
Yeah, I don't
in
disagree.
fairness, I think it's very, very unique. You don't see this very often. Like, I'm sure there are more of these out there. I'm sure there's a style for it even. But, like, you don't see these walking around.
Nope.
When was the last time you ever seen one of these? Right? And so, but I also fucking love trad.
Yeah.
And so, like, to find a way to make it, like, I would love to see this whole theme as a bodysuit. Mm-hmm. That's
yeah,
what I
think it
want
would
to
be
see.
a
With,
wicked
like,
bodysuit.
the whole thing, like the same ideas, the peekaboos, the fucking dark colors, you know, the pops of negative and things like this. I would love to see that rolled out onto a even grander stage, you know. But maybe one day we will.